want to play a game.
Today we're counting down our picks for the most brutal traps in the Saw franchise. For this list, we'll be looking at the most gruesome and horrifying traps that have left audiences squirming in their seats. Even if you have a strong stomach for gore, this compilation will test your limits. Number 9. Kicking off our list is the Angel Trap. In Saw 3, Detective Allison Carey faces the Angel Trap.
Hello, Carrie.
She wakes up to find herself strapped into a leather harness with metal spikes ready to rip open her rib cage. The only way out is to reach into a jar of concentrated acid and pull out a key before it is destroyed. If she's not fast enough, the rods in her rib cage will spring open, ripping her apart. This trap is nothing but pure evil, as Allison has very little chance of getting out alive. The sheer brutality of watching her struggle and ultimately fail to escape cements this trap as one of the most brutal in the series. Number 8. The rack is a trap that is designed to twist the limbs of its victim one by one. Timothy Young is the unfortunate soul subjected to this medieval nightmare.
Ever wonder how far the arm can twist?
He's locked in a full-body contraption that looks like a crucifix and has rotating parts. Once it is set in motion, a series of gears begin to turn gradually, and the victim's arms and legs start to twist until his bones snap. Eventually, the victim's head is forced to make a complete 360-degree arc until his neck snaps. Timothy screams in agony as the slow, methodical trap takes its time finishing him off. Number 7. The razor box seems easy to escape at first, but on closer inspection, you'll realize that it's one of the most cruel traps in the franchise. Addison has been poisoned with a deadly nerve gas that will kill her unless she injects herself with an antidote. The antidote is in a small glass box hanging from the ceiling. When she tries to reach into it, she discovers in the worst way possible that the opening is lined with razors. Desperate to save herself, she puts her other hand into another opening, which also has razors, then gets stuck. The more she struggles, the deeper the blades cut, turning her desperate attempt at survival into a brutal spectacle. Addison bleeds out and dies in that position. Number 6. The Shotgun Carousel takes psychological torture to a new level. 6 people are strapped to a rotating carousel and a loaded shotgun is placed in front of it. The carousel stops from time to time, and this means that one of its victims would be sitting directly in front of the barrel. This victim would be killed after a few seconds if a 7th person decides not to save them. If he decides to save someone, he has to simultaneously press 2 buttons in a small box in front of him. However, he can only save 2 of them, while the other 4 would inevitably die.
6 ride the carousel, but only 2 can get off.
The suspense and moral dilemma make this trap extra brutal and unforgettable. Number 5. Simone and Eddie are in a room where a large scale has been placed between 2 grates. Both victims, already provided with a knife and a meat cleaver, have a mechanical device on their heads with screws pointed at their temples.
You are predators, but today you become the prey.
When the game begins, they have 60 seconds to use the tools to hack off pieces of their own flesh and put them on the scale. The person who sacrifices more flesh would survive, while the other one would be killed by the device as the screws would pierce their skull. Watching them desperately mutilate their own bodies is both horrifying and stomach-churning. Number 4. The Mausoleum trap places Art and Trevor in a circular room with chains attached to their necks. They are chained to a winch, which will slowly choke them to death if they don't escape. Trevor has his eyes sewn shut, while Art has his mouth sewn shut. On Trevor's side of the room, there are tools and weapons such as a hammer, a small axe, and a hook. But being temporarily blind, he can't take advantage of this. The men have to work together to find a key that will free them. But because they can't see or talk to each other, it's very difficult. The tension and fear make it hard for them to communicate or trust each other, which adds to the danger of the trap. Let us know in the comments how you think you might get out of this one. Number 3. The laser collars featured in the movie Jigsaw are a new, terrifying gadget in the series. They consist of 2 big metal collars connected to the walls by rods, with 8 powerful laser cutters attached. These lasers would rotate and eventually cut the victim's head into 8 pieces. However, one of the collars could be removed and had fake lasers and fake blood, while the other collar couldn't be removed and had real, strong laser cutters. The twist with this trap was that the victims had 60 seconds to decide who would go first, using 2 buttons in the middle of the room, or one of them would be randomly chosen. The chosen victim then had to confess their crimes, or the lasers would rotate the full 90 degrees needed to slice their head open. Number 2. This device is so iconic that it has been used 3 times in the series. The theatrical poster for the original Saw movie shows a character, Amanda Young, wearing this giant metal trap on her head. The device is a reverse-engineered bear trap, which has been rigged to open up instead of clamp shut. Amanda wakes up to find herself wearing a contraption that will rip her jaws apart if she doesn't retrieve the key in time. The tension is high as she digs through the stomach of her cellmate, who is only heavily sedated to save herself. Number 1. And finally, taking the top spot is the needle pit from Saw 2. Can you picture yourself falling into a pit filled with thousands of unclean syringes? Every little shuffle would allow more dirty needles to stick into you. Amanda, the same character who has to deal with the reverse bear trap we mentioned earlier, is thrown into a giant hole in the ground that's overflowing with deadly hypodermic needles. Buried somewhere at the bottom of the pit is a key that would free her and the others trapped in a house filled with deadly gas. They have to find it in 3 minutes or the door will lock permanently. The image of Amanda clawing through thousands of syringes which jab and stab her hands and body over and over remains one of the most disturbing and unforgettable moments in horror film history, and this is why it is our pick for the most brutal trap in the Saw franchise. There you have it, our picks for the most brutal traps in the Saw franchise. Did we miss any of your favorites? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't miss out on our YouTube memberships. You might have noticed that little join button below. When you click on it, you become a member of our channel, part of an exclusive club. So, what do you get as a member? Firstly, you'll get these awesome loyalty badges next to your name in the comments section. It lets everyone know you're one of our VIPs. We'll also give shoutouts to our members in our videos because, hey, we appreciate you. Members also get early access to our videos. You'll be the first to see all the new content we're cooking up. And for all you lovers of horror, we've got something extra special. We're introducing the Dark Vault tier, where we'll be posting exclusive videos just for our horror fans. For those who may not want to join, our regular content will still be available for everyone to enjoy. Memberships are just for those who want to take their support to the next level. So if you want to unlock all these awesome perks and join our growing community, just hit that join button below. We can't wait to welcome you to the club. Click the video on the screen to find your next binge or movie to watch.